G'day. So, I borrowed my mate's digger to try and do some stuff in the creek. Just get rid of a heap of crap because it's full of loose shit. But yeah, I got his digger bogged. So, trying to get it out. So I know someone who is quite a skilled digger operator. I'm going to give him a call and see if we can get him to come give me a hand because doing this by myself is really bloody hard.
Hi, the person you have called is
Still.
not available.
Well, try and make things a bit easier. One reason why I got this digger here was the creek keeps getting banked up with just like crud and like all that stuff there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try and clear the bank, or dam I suppose you'd say, up here. Which is that big trunk across there. That's slowing things down massively, and I've just done a quick little dam further up with a bit of dirt, try and save me a bit of time as well. But that's just gonna fill up pretty quick anyway, and that won't last long. So yeah, time is of the essence. Everyone's just loving it. So I'm gonna try and get back down, clear this bloody dam down here with this trunk. See if that's going to help. rain pretty bad now, so I'm gonna put the camera away so it doesn't get wet. And yeah, I don't know, I'm not really getting anything done now. I just, yeah, don't know, it's pretty well sunk, eh? So when it rains, it pours. It shut off on me, and I could smell and hear a bit of sizzling. Had a look, and I think there's an electrical issue in there now. I isolated it. As soon as I isolated it, it stopped. So yeah, I think there's a power rub through somewhere. So now I've got to try and do an electrical job in this. Not great at all. Probably gonna go buy some gumboots tomorrow, and yeah, we'll get onto it then, I think. I'm back down the creek and thought I'd reassess it. I've spoken to my mate who owns this thing. I'm very apologetic, mate. Like, you got to believe I really did not want this to happen because this is crap. I really can't be bothered with this. I just wanted to clean up the rest of the crap, like all of this down there, and get all the loose crap out. And anyway, so what I've done is to make things it's a bit slippery here. Make things a bit easier. I've got a table, got some tools. I'm going to start ripping stuff off. My mate said, by the sound of it, possibly would be the alternator wire, because I told him that it did catch fire in there. And yeah, now we've got nothing, no power or anything like that. So we'll see what happens. I had a quick look inside the engine bay, and yeah, I'm going to be up for some more repairs, because looks like the fan blades have broken. There's a bit of a fan blade there, and they look like they're missing some. So that's not ideal. So I'm going to start pulling some covers off, and yeah, just have a bit of a look and see what I can find. Yeah, I'm guessing when I've slewed the machine, maybe a stick or something's come up underneath and caused that bit of that damage. So yeah, we'll see. So when checking for a dead short, you get a multimeter and you'll set the multimeter to resistance or ohms, and it's the horseshoe looking symbol. And then you can set it so it makes a noise, you don't even have to look at it, and it'll tell you if it's got continuity. If you're checking for a dead short, you take it to the positive lead and then to the body, and that should tell you if you've got a dead short. Yeah, I'll show you. So the multimeter is in the resistance position there. Now positive lead is behind here, so I'm going to put my multimeter lead on that, and then I should be able to go anywhere on the body. Here's a fitting, and that's beeping, and it's down to 2 ohms. 2 ohms is like next to nothing, so there is an absolute dead short somewhere here that I've got to trace back now and try and find. Thank God for that. I found the issue, and it is a rub-through cable. Now, that's where the fire came from, and that's what caught fire. You can see that it's melted a little bit, and yeah, that's what was causing the fire, and that's what would have stuffed the battery. Is a direct, like, there's no fuse between that end of the cable, as you can see. They go straight to the other end of the battery cable. So when the fire happened, I could see there is a hydraulic pipe, like cooler line there. So yeah, I'll zoom into that now and show you. This is absolute slop. Right. Now, so down there, just down there, is where it was. So stuck between the hydraulic tank there, between the hydraulic tank and those couple of lines. So unfortunately it's happened while I've had it. Yeah, can't see how my stuck situation would affect that, but anyway, maybe it was rubbing through a little bit with a bit of water in there. It's created a bit more of an issue as well, but yeah, that's kind of good news. Means I can start repairing that and see if we get some power with a fresh battery in it. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do a temporary fix, because that cable from the battery will go all the way to the starter motor, and as you can see, this digger's not really in a position for me to go underneath and get the starter motor. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a temp repair, and that's the other end here. You can see nicely burnt to a crisp. I'm going to trim it back, get some good wiring. Hey. Just slippery as here. Trim it back, and I'm going to put a battery lug on it, put a battery lug on the other end, put them together, put some lecky tape around them, and hopefully it goes alright. Oh, that's been hot. Melted the imprint of the conduit right into the cable. So Dad's come for a visit. He's over there in the background, and he's actually helping massively because he's getting the water lower. And as you can see, the tracks are out of the water now, which is awesome. Makes it easier to work. And I've just gone and got a nut for the alternator. So battery's in, my dodgy repairs done, and yeah, just need a nut for the alternator cable, and I should be pretty good to fire this thing. Well, not fire it up, I just want to get power to it because sun's setting in the background, and yeah, should hopefully come back at it again tomorrow and have a go. Right, moment of truth. Oh, it is so sticky here, this mud, and soft. Now, battery's all on, alternator's on, everything's plugged back in how it should be. So let's see what happens. Good. No sparky. Oh, whoa. All right, let's lean into the cab. Oh, yes, that is so good. Awesome. I don't know what it's beeping at me for, but that is so good. Oh, we're back with day number 3, and this fan blade, one of them, has gone to the radiator. So we have a coolant leak now. So yeah, it's bad enough where it's coming out pretty bad. So I'm going to try and crimp the cores to try and get this thing out. I'll put some water in the radiator and show you where this leak's coming from. Yeah. Well, I found where the hole is. It is huge. Right. See it? Just there. So that's my leak. So, got some needle nose pliers. I'm going to try and roll the cores and crimp them off, and hopefully that will stop. The really sucky thing about this is at the very bottom of the radiator, so any water you put in, like, it's just not even going to hold it. So the radiator is definitely cooked. I tried crimping off a couple of those cores and it's just not working at all. It's still gushing out massively. So I'm trying to see if I can rig up possibly this Clevo radiator. These are intercoolers. Principle's still the same. Yes, doesn't have fans on them. This does. I've got some twin thermos on that. But I just need something to get it so I can just run this, lift it up, put stuff underneath the tracks and just get it up a bit higher. But as you can see, Dad has done an absolute wonderful job. There's no water over the tracks anymore, which is great. And yeah, he's done a really good job at digging away all that bank there, so cleared that creek out heaps. So now it's just continuing on with this. So I've got the fan out and that. So these hoses look like they are very much the same as Cleveland sizes. I reckon we'll be pretty close to fitting. So if I can get it up here, sit along here, battery's going to be there, that's just a spare, and then we can just hook the thermofan straight up with the battery with some alligator clips. Dad's already accepted he's staying another night, so yeah, it's a fair bit of work here still. So gonna keep going, get this radiator in, then see if we can run it and lift it up, put some logs underneath it so we can get this thing out of here. I'm really over it now. I'm nervous to get it up on this side of the creek. I reckon, I don't know, we'll see what happens. We might just walk it out and I don't bother with it ever again in winter, because this is a idea. So obviously I'm not going to have all of the perfect stuff that I need to make this Cleveland radiator fit the digger. So as I was going through the stuff, I basically had a radiator hose that would fit inside this air intake hose, which is from the Beamer when I've been trying to do that supercharger setup. But I wanted to clamp this on the other radiator hose. Now, obviously you can't do that because it's got no structure and nothing to clamp onto, it's just going to collapse. So what I did was, so I've stuffed this exhaust tube inside the radiator hose, so then this will actually fit on top. And have something to grip onto. Now that is going to be the same size as that, which is already on the radiator. So we're cooking with gas. Fit it up. Good thing is, top hose still goes to the top section and bottom hose still to the bottom. I was able to just turn it around. Normally it comes out and down for the bottom hose. Just turn it 90 degrees and managed to get it to fit the radiator. So now we're ready, put some water in and see if we can run it. Now, we're not animals here, so we're going to put some coolant in because we've really got to make sure we protect the system. Got to do things right, you know. That should do. I'm not mad. Right, come chicken. We do have a bit of a leak here, but it's slow. That's like a pressure relief anyway, don't worry about it. That's on. Right. Dad's staying another night because he's giving me a hand because I'm useless. I'm sure he's proud. So I'll get it running. He's got some logs here. So we're going to chuck under the tracks and see if we can get this thing out finally. When it rains, it pours. There's a bit of oil there. There must be a leak somewhere in here, so I'm going to have to find it and see what the go is. I had a bit of a look and thought what if it might be coming from where the fire was? And it is. So the fire was down there. You can see a bit of burnt conduit there. And it's this hose here. So I'm gonna have to replace a hydraulic hose now that's burnt through. This is not going good. Managed to clean up the oil spill. These pads are absolutely fantastic. And what they do is they absorb oil, but they don't absorb water. And I had some in the shed, raced up, grabbed them. So we've managed to catch all the oil, which is awesome. Now, having a look at where that oil leak come from. So I cracked this pipe here, which is where I think it's coming from, because down there you can see where that fire's been. Look at that P-clamp, that's all busted. Hose rubbed through, but I reckon further down, yeah, you can see a bit of wetness just there. So I'm going to keep trying to pull that hose out, and hopefully we can sort something out tomorrow. That hose went down there, up underneath. Anyway, this is it here, and you can see it is absolutely cooked from that fire. Let's have a look. That's our culprit right there. Big hole, big hole. So that hose is going to have to come out now. I don't know where that goes. No, on my luck, it's somewhere on the other side, whatever, underneath. But anyway, we'll have a look. And we're back for day 4 of this lovely escapade. I'm going to try and do a temp fix on this hydraulic hose, because I think it's on the return side, so low pressure. So let's see what we can do just to get this thing out, because the rest of the hose goes underneath the cab, and I can't be stuffed getting a snorkel to be going underneath and trying to suss it out. So you can see what I can do with a barb. I'm going to cut the hose, just get that dead bit out, and then put a barb in there with some hose clamps and see if it holds. I'm back up to the shed, and I found an NPT to NPT male adapter. Now this should hopefully screw into the hose, and matching it up to the piece that I cut off does go in quite snug, and then I should be able to screw in and then clamp that, and at least the thread of this fitting will give it a bit of grip and prevent it from falling out. The other male to male barb that I had was just like a billet alloy one for heater line or fuel line sort of thing. It's a bit loose inside the hydraulic hose, so with this at least it'll be nice and tight. So I fitted my hose, and with my little fix, I suppose you say. This is my trusty rated work platform. So that's the hose there. You can just see the hose clamp down the bottom there, coming up. The other thing that makes me confident is this hose is part of the return system, so it doesn't have high pressure. As you can see, part of that same manifold is just a bit of hose and some hose clamps anyway, and returns back into the hydraulic tank there. So, going to check the hydraulic oil level, which does look a bit low, but if it's not far below that, I'll get away with that too. Otherwise, I'm going to go for a drive and get some hydraulic oil. Only we add hydraulics with our four-wheel drives when we get stuck in the mud. So look, up out of the water. It was pretty deep. But anyway, these hydraulics creep because, as my mate has said, this digger is a bucket of shit, and that was his words. So I'm just going to get all this wood and timber, get underneath the tracks. Some of the stuff's a bit bigger, so I'll give that a hand. Then I'll have to get in there and just keep operating it and lifting it up and up and up because it just keeps creeping. So let's get moving. Hey, that's not your stick. That's my dad's. Fueled up, hydraulic oil's topped up. Dad's got some more timber moved around, so I reckon it is time to jump back in this thing and get some operating done. Beautiful. And I was going to flick the trusty thermo switch. I think it's starting to heat up a little bit. Nearly there. Hey Windsor. Hey. We did it. Holy crap, what, I wouldn't even say it's an adventure really, but yeah, what a mission. It's out, did some dodgy things. I'm sure there's a few of my mates who are diesel mechanics as well. We appreciate a few of the little things I've done. But yeah, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get the job done. And we've done these little things in our jobs here and there to make things happen on sites and to keep operations happy. And this is one of those times where you've got to keep operations happy and get this thing out. So I spoke to my mate. He is a bit of a guru with Hitachi gear. He said it's a prick of a job. It is a big job to get this radiator out, so I'm glad I didn't try and do the whole thing down in the creek. So anyway, it's up here next to my shed now. So yeah, he can come over, give us a hand, and see if we can get something done and get this thing operating like it should. I will say as well, there's definitely worse spots to get stuck. Dad coming and giving us a hand has been a massive help as well. But we have a heap of crap to clean up now. Big mess. Gonna try and pull some of those logs out of the water because they're just gonna catch more crap. And yeah, get everything else back up to the shed as well. Now on camera, that hill there, the camera just doesn't do it justice. It is got quite a bit of steepness to it. And yeah. I wasn't real concerned about going down it and getting up it, because how I got up it this time by using the hydraulics to get me up is what I've done with excavators before. But I was hoping to do that same thing to get it over this side of the bank so I can clean up this sort of stuff that's down my creek. I'll show you a little bit of what's actually down here, which I was trying to clean up. So all of this, it is everywhere. Just all this junk, and it just keeps going down. So that's why I grabbed the excavator, so I could bring it up here and then just scoop all of this stuff out and not have to do it all by hand. But by Dad clearing out a heap of some of the other dam that was up here as well has been a massive help. So yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous to try and get an excavator down here again. I think I might just call it quits and just do it by hand in summertime. What a mission it was to get this thing out. So next day, at the end of yesterday, I just gave Dad a big hand to clean up, get the logs out of the creek and that so it doesn't catch more stuff. So I got bogged. I rubbed through a positive lead onto a hydraulic hose, which also blew, but because the battery shorted out directly, it cooked the battery. So then I was stuffing around with batteries. Then what else? Oh, and then the radiator. So I've broken the engine fans, broken 3 blades off it. One fan blade went into the radiator, put a hole in it at the bottom, couldn't repair it. Put a Cleveland radiator on it with some AU Falcon thermo fans and made it work. So all dodgy repairs just to get this thing out and done. And yeah, I'm pretty happy that all these really easy dodgy repairs worked. Yeah, and it drove out and it did its hardest work getting out. So anyway, massive thank you to my dad. Come give us a hand. We actually plan to do some rainwater tanks and shuffle some things around next to the shed, but yeah, when he got here and he saw this in the creek, he figured this was probably a bigger priority than moving rainwater tanks. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully this has been a little bit different. You guys have enjoyed it. Anyway, until next time, catch ya.